What happened to Russell Wilson?
Man, I'll be honest. I am very excited to hear Mark Sanchez's take.
Yes.
But they pay me, so I got to go first.
You don't get paid?
Well, he said he's going to be honest for once. So.
Look at him.
Everything caught up with Russell Wilson at once, fellas. I think that's what happened. I think everything caught up with Russell Wilson at once. So now the question is, what is everything? Well, first off, you got the off-the-field drama. Russell Wilson, he has a little bit of tension. He says there are 4 teams he wants to go to, but no, he didn't actually release that list. Somebody on his behalf released that list. Yeah. Pete Carroll, John Snyder, oh, everything's good. They're joking with each other at the podium at the start of training camp. That's first thing. I think the second thing that we have to remember is there's more to life than football. And Russell Wilson understands there's more to life than football. Russell Wilson lives a superstar life. It is hard to maintain being a superstar. Y'all remember this offseason, Russell Wilson in GQ photo shoots, lavish photo shoots. Russell Wilson is trapped. Nothing is wrong with it at all.
Done that.
Nothing like,
he's done that.
Ain't nothing wrong with it.
On the GQ?
Not at all. I didn't make the front cover of the magazine. I was on the back cover of the magazine, but I was on the magazine.
At least that side of the table made the magazine.
So there's nothing wrong with it. But, you know, it takes upkeep. It takes maintenance. Traveling abroad and having matching outfits with your partner and color coordinating your outfits and making sure you got the photographer to catch all the shoots. Yeah. Bro, like, that takes work. Again, these might not necessarily be conversations that everybody watching is familiar with, but the people at this desk understand that takes some work, that takes some upkeep. Then there's just a little bit of distractions, not only for Russ, but I think everybody else. DK Metcalf, what was the biggest thing he did all offseason?
Get smoked in the race?
Running a track meet.
No, get smoked. Last place.
He got last place.
Last place, not fast.
Like the most important thing that DK Metcalf did all offseason was running a track meet. Jamal Adams, finally, all the noise of how great is he, and now obviously he's been listening to the noise. I don't fault him for that, but so many distractions there. Everything in my mind, fellas, it caught up to Russell Wilson at once, and you add insult to injury, add the injury. Russell Wilson messes up his thumb, messes up his finger, not the thumb, but messes up a finger during the course of gameplay. He has to miss 4 weeks, and now while the hamster wheel is running, you have to jump off and try to jump back on. Sanchez, you tell me, you were the resident quarterback, you are the superstar quarterback, at least at one point in time. I don't know, but that's my best thought.
Listen, I get it. There's a lot of noise. There was a lot of noise this offseason, and you're right. There are... You know, it requires a lot of upkeep. I think you're correct. All I know is the football stuff ain't good. It's not just straight up. I mean, they're 3 for 12 on 3rd down against the Washington football team. Russell Wilson's the leading rusher with 16 yards. Ooh. Come on, dog. I don't care who you are. You can't win like that. They're outgained by 100 yards in the last 3 games. I mean, this is like there are huge gaps, and a lot of that's the offensive line issues, which he mentioned in the offseason. And Russ can't cover up all those warts like he does running around in the backfield, making all these crazy highlight plays when there's nowhere to go. And he's not his 100% healthy self, like you said. So what are you going to do? I mean, is this the end for him and Pete Carroll? Potentially. I wouldn't be shocked to see him in another uniform next year, to go to one of these big market teams to keep up that stuff that you talked about in the offseason and start a new chapter like Tom Brady's done, like other players tend to do. And I wouldn't be surprised if Aaron Rodgers does that also. Like, there's other opportunities out there. It might not be as good as it ever was in Seattle, but I would not be shocked. The bottom line, though, is the football stuff ain't right. And this weekend is a massive, crossroads, right? They're right there staring at the 49ers, and one of these teams is going one way, one of these teams is going the other way.
Man, let's talk about it. You guys, I want to blend where you guys came from, on the field and the philosophy of it all. Let me just preface everything by saying that Russell Wilson has now become a victim of his own drive-by choices. Now, I used to think about what that meant, like a drive-by choices. Like every bullet hitting you is just your old decisions coming back to fruition. Like Russell Wilson, it all caught up to him, as you said, a confluence of events, victim of his own drive-by choices. Let's talk about that. Why? Because this war that we always talk about, like what I do right now in this moment and when will it catch up to me, war cannot be avoided, just postponed. And look here, the time has arrived and it's wartime. Here we go. I remember watching the Super Bowl like Russell Wilson did. I wasn't sitting next to Sierra. I wasn't sitting next to Roger Goodell. I was just at the crib chilling. But he was up there not watching the Super Bowl with full focus. Oh, I should be on the field. Come on, we got to train. We got to do this. We got to do that. You fast forward, all of a sudden, he's sending out letters with 4 other teams mentioned if I'm not a Seattle Seahawk. You fast forward, he is still a Seattle Seahawk. Go Hawks. And the other 4 teams, obviously not in his future, and his teammates are sitting there looking at him. Like, hey, bro, you going to make atone for the issues that you just already caused, the dust you kicked up? Fast forward, you see him running into press conferences, uninvited, hugging Pete Carroll. Hey, buddy. And Pete Carroll's sitting there like, you know this war can't be avoided, just postponed. Now you got a new offensive coordinator. All of this adds up. And I'm going to give it to you like I know how it plays. Russell Wilson knows that the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. But this is what happens when you get caught up. Like Usher said, caught up, I'm been twisted, caught up. I went to the Vegas show.
I like your version better.
For real. You like my better? Yo, look at the lyrics. I'm the kind of brother, who been doing it my way, getting my way for years. He caught up with this fool. Okay, here we go. Let's talk. Well, my coach told me that the shortest distance is a straight line, right? And he said, when you take your eyes off the prize, you ain't got to, I'm looking at you, Mark, you're the prize. I don't have to look like this to get off mark. He said the slightest deviation over the course of time, over the course of choices will make me miss that mark. This is Russell Wilson. And we've been seeing it. Let Russ cook. Oh, it ain't cooking that well. Let Russ cook. Oh, the second half of the season, he's falling off. Oh, let Russ cook. New offensive coordinator. Oh, let Russ cook. He can't get MVP vote. Oh, let Russ cook. We're 3-6 in our last 9 playoff appearances. Let Russ cook. You're 1 and done in 2 of your last 3 playoff appearances. It all caught up to him, like you said, like Usher said. And this is always the case when a great takes their eye off the prize.
I got a question for you, Sanchez, because I caught you after your Jets stint. You go from the New York Jets to the Philadelphia Eagles. How much did having to be on the covers of GQ when you had a very public dating life and you had a lot more going on than football? At the time, I doubt you would have admitted it. Obviously, all focused on football. That stuff doesn't matter. But in retrospect, I have to assume that stuff didn't help your on-the-field performance. Could that be a part of the Russell Wilson issue?
It doesn't necessarily help, but at the time I was so young, I didn't know any different, and it wasn't that tough. I had the energy, I had the juice to go do it.
Yeah.
But we were also winning.
Yeah.
When you're winning, it doesn't matter. When you're winning, those other stories on the outside and the dress-up thing and going abroad and all that stuff's like kind of cool. People are like, oh, sweet. Like, all right, have fun. That looks really fun. Post more pictures, Russ. Now it's, hey, get in your playbook, Russ. Why are we doing that in the offseason? Well, because they're not winning. That's the great equalizer. And if you can't win, then it's hard to justify a lot of those other things.
The interesting thing for me, Sel, is that Russell Wilson and the Seahawks, they were losing before the thumb. Like, they were en route to being 2-3 before the thumb. So, like, let's not get it twisted. Let's not, for those at home, like, oh, it's all about the thumb injury.
Help.
Or the finger injury. It did not help at all. I doubt they would be 0-3 since he's returned, if not for the finger injury. However, they weren't good beforehand. I am hard-pressed to blame the offensive line because the offensive line's been bad. Yeah. And the Seahawks have been good. I'm hard-pressed to blame the running game because the running game has been bad. And the Seahawks have been good. Even last year, the defense was atrocious, and the Seahawks still good. Clearly, this falls on Russ, not because it's Russ's fault, but usually Russ is a great eraser.
Like, because he runs around and gets free. When they have clear sacks, he runs around, extends plays, and people have caught up to the DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett stuff.
But I'm not going to let him off the hook by letting y'all give him a mattress to lie on. In his last 9 playoff appearances, they have averaged under 21 points. Like this has been known. It's just like, oh, well, they made the playoffs again. Oh, he's never had a losing record. Oh, but when it comes from the great heights that he's ascended from, or I should say now descending from, where he ascended to, it takes us a while to realize, oh, that plane ain't that high anymore until it's like, oh, you ever go to LAX on Sepulveda? Then you're like, damn, that plane, boom, that's a big plane. But when it's way up there, you're like, oh, you don't notice what height it's falling from. That's Russell Wilson to me. First time I met Mark Sanchez, he was in the prime, all that stuff. It was at Javier's, OC. You know, if I say Javier's and Mark Sanchez, everybody in OC just lit up like, yeah, that's him. But it was an energy around him because he was the man. He was winning. He was a quarterback, looked like that, talked like that, be like that. He was winning like that. Not mad at it. I take issue when people like you, Acho, say, well, did that take from your game? No, you know what takes from your game? Your game. Simple as that. Let me tell you why. I played with a lot of Hall of Famers, superstars who lived the life. They in the Hall of Fame for a reason. They never let the two bleed onto one another. I bring it up and personalize it because when I started off my rookie year, I was a DJ. When I got my first check, the first thing I bought was DJ equipment. I've been wanting to DJ my whole life. I got that check. I looked at it, Buffalo Bills, thank you. Here's my techniques, right? And I used to DJ Super Bowls, festivals, NFL parties, owners' parties, all that. Yeah. But this is why I bring it up. I don't bring it up to gloat. I bring it up because owners of my teams, can you, Marcellus, busy Friday? Can you DJ this? I do it all. 10 sacks, 13 sacks, whatever. As soon as them sacks start going down, all of a sudden the DJ was the problem. Oh, Russell Wilson, taking pictures ain't the problem. You got a stylist. You know how it is. You just walk in, put your foot into it, tease, go home, work out. But the point is, his game is robbing him, not all the distractions, and we're going to blame those same distractions.
Here's why, though, because there comes a point in time where you can mitigate your deceleration. Track and field, I'm sorry. I know, I
left
apologize,
turns, straight.
Look,
You're so slow at accelerating, it's hard. Slowing down.
Look,
you're just always in like second
the kicker in track is at the 70-meter mark of a 100-meter race, so 30 meters left. Very simple. Nobody's still accelerating.
Yes.
Right.
It's just that's
it.
It's who's decelerating the slowest.
slowest.
So it looks like, oh man, Usain Bolt really sped up at the end. No, he was slowing down. He was just slowing down at a lesser rate than everybody else.
I love it.
Why bring that up to talk Russ? Because I look at it like this, Sanchez. I look at it like this, Sel. If the offseason distractions are causing him to decelerate at a slower rate than other quarterbacks or decelerate at a slower rate than he otherwise would, then maybe it's on the offseason distractions. It's not that DJing wasn't messing up your sack game. It's not that living that life in the offseason wasn't messing up Russell Wilson. But early on in a race, it doesn't matter as much. What matters at the end of a race, you better be technically sound because that's when you're already fatigued. At the end of a career, that's when you're already physically going to start to atrophy. So it behooves you to make sure that you're not distracted elsewhere.
But this same argument came up with Tom Brady last year in New England. Like, oh, maybe he needs to stop taking the picture with the little baby goat, and maybe he needs to chill out on all this other stuff in the offseason. I mean, bottom line, dog, if you can play and you go ball, that just erases. People put up with a lot as long as you win.
As long as you
that's
ball.
That's the way it goes. Whether that's right, wrong, or indifferent, I don't know. But that's just the way it works.
I think it's just a perception. I really do. I don't think that they bleed together. I play with too many guys that I can't even talk about the stuff I saw them do privately and the times that they went to bed and burned both ends of the candle. Like
or guys who eat like crap. Or
eat like crap, all-nighters, Hall of Famers.
All of that to say, though, because that exists and that exists within every locker room. But I would also still wonder, I wonder how much better that Hall of Famer still would have been if he wouldn't have done all those things. Like Luka, I've heard. Luka be in them streets, apparently, in Dallas. He's still a top 5 NBA player, maybe top 10.
Mickey Mantle.
But, it makes you wonder, just because you're great doesn't mean you couldn't be greater.
Yeah. I'm not having that conversation. I'm having this conversation. Let's not hang our hat on that perception that it's because of the distractions. My coach used to say, don't come to practice on the red carpet. I get why he said that. But at the same time, I've seen too many people succeed, including the greatest quarterback we have right now in Tom Brady, who walks a red carpet, who's with more of a superstar, global star than even Russell Wilson's wife, who is always...
Hey, now, doing too much.
Money talks. Money talks.
No, but money does not mean everything. Tom Brady is not more of a global star than Sierra.
Hold on. I said Giselle. Coming up...